Good morning, children. Good morning to all of you. Today we shall see a very interesting poem, that is the tale of Custard the Dragon. It's narrative poem. It deals with the humor, reality and seriousness. To some extent it is hyperbolic also. It shows that real is real and unreal is unreal. We should not make a show of useless thing. If we make a show of useless thing, finally it get itself disclosed. Here is the story of a woman named Belinda who kept 4 animals as pet in her house, and these animals are cat, mouse, dog and dragon. If you go through the poem slowly, you will understand a very small episode through which the writer highlights that dragon, though he does not make a show of his power, finally proves that he is powerful. And our cat, mouse and dog, though they make the show of their power, finally they prove that they are very weak. They only go on making show of their power. So shall I start the poem like this? If you come across any new word to you, please ask me, and please ask me the meaning of that word. Now in the bracket I would like to read it. The poem is written in the style of a ballad. Ballad, you know, povada. There are lot of types of poetry. Some poems are sonnet, ode, free verse blank, and ballad. You might have heard so many povada on Shivaji Maharaj's life, and this is a sort of ballad also. The poem is written in the style of a ballad, a song or poem that tells a story. This poem is nothing but a story. Today we have to see 2 chapters. First we have to see the tale of cluster, and then we have to see the sermon at Banaras. This is prose and this is a poem. So don't get mixed yourself. The poem runs like this. The story is very simple. Belinda lived in a little white house. Okay, where did she live? She lived in little White House. You know, White House is the residence of American president. So it is humorous here. Belinda lived where? In a little White House. With whom did she live? A little black kitten, means cat, and a little grey mouse, and little yellow dog, and a little red wagon, and Rielio Trilio little pet dragon. Means this Belinda lived in a simple white house with 4 animals: cat, dog, mouse and dragon. And for her convenience, she had given them token name, aliases. See, what are the aliases? Now the name of little black kitten was Ink. Cat is equal to Ink. Means cat's aliases, cat aliases Ink. Okay, and the little grey mouse Blink. Mouse is called Blink. Okay, third dog is called wagon and just a minute, dog is called extremely sorry mustard. And cluster. So these are the four animal. These are the token name: cat, ink, mouse, blink, dog, mustard, dragon, custard. Custard, the dragon had a big shark. Now this is the description, physical description of dragon. What was custard like? See, the characteristic of this custard dragon had a big sharp teeth. Dragon had sharp teeth, spike on the top of him and scale underneath. These are the three. First, had a long sharp teeth. Second, spikes on the top. Third, scale, some scale underneath. And the mouth of dragon was like a fireplace, chimney for a nose. This is the physical description of dragon. Means the question is this: what was? What was dragon like? So you have to describe the physical description of dragon. Belinda was a brave. Now about Belinda, she was brave as a barrel full of beer. This is simile. And ink and being chased lion down the stair. Belinda was very brave, and this cat and mouse were so brave that they can chase the lion. Isn't it a humorous? Isn't it a hyperbolic statement? Have you ever seen cat and dog chasing the lion? Oh no! So this is full of humor. And mustard and ink and being means cat and mouse chased lion down the stair. Mustard dog was as brave as tiger in rage. So this is all. These are the hyperbolic statement. So cat and dog are found chasing the lion, and Mustard the dog was just brave. He was brave like a tiger. But Custard tried for nice safe cage. Custard was very coward. It was very tame. Belinda trickled him, and Belinda trickled him. She trickled him unmercy. In this way, she treated dragon. She insulted dragon so many times. Ink, Blink, and Mustard, they rudely call him Percival. Means that is one of the great fighter. That is Senapati. They all sat laughing in little red wagon. Belinda giggled all she shook the house, and Blink said weak, which is giggling for the mouse. In Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age. In this way, in short, in these two stanzas, all the member, Belinda, rat, and that dog, and that cat used to tease this dragon. They went on teasing him. Suddenly, what happened? Suddenly, that is repetition. Suddenly means all of a sudden what happened? Suddenly, they heard a nasty sound, and Mustard growled, and they all looked around. Meow! Called Ink, and oh, cried Belinda, for there was a period climbing in the veranda. When they saw that Chacha, means thief on the sea, thief of the sea, were trying to enter the house. Belinda saw that these thieves or this thief was trying to enter the house, and they were shocked. And how? What was he like? pistol in his right, pistol in his left hand, pistol in his right. In both hands, the parrot was having, or the parrot had a pistol in his both hand, and held in his teeth a cut glass bright. There was a sword in his teeth. His beard was black. His beard was black, and one leg was wood. He was lame, and the one leg was of wood. This is the physical description of that thief. This is the physical description of that parrot, not parrot. Belinda pale, and she cried, "Help, help, help!" But Mustard fled with a terrible yelp. Ink trickled down to the bottom of the household, and Little Mouse blinked strategically. Mouse held, they hid themselves. Cat, dog, and rat ran away from the scene as soon as they saw the parrot in the palace. And Little Mouse blinked strategically, mouse hold, but up jumped, this is inversion, means Custard jumped up, snorting like an engine, clashed his tail like a iron in a dragon, with a clatter and clang and jingling square. He went at the parrot like a robin at worm. This dragon railed at parrot in order to kill, just like an insect. The parrot gaped at Belinda's dragon and gave some grog from his pocket flagon. The parrot drank wine to fight with our dragon. He fired 2 bullets, but they didn't hit, and Custard grabbed him every bit. Belinda embraced him. Mustard licked him. No one mourned for his parrot victim. Ink and Blink in glee did Garrett. Ink and Blink, rat and mouse, started dancing happily around the dragon that ate the parrot. In this way, the parrot was eaten by a dragon. But presently up spoke little dog Mustard. I would have been twice as brave if hadn't been fluttered. And up spoke Ink and spoke Blink. We would have been 3 times as brave, we think. And Custard said, I agree with that, everybody is braver than me. So the true power, dragon was, Dragon had a true power, but he did not make a show of it, while his friends were making show of it. And so dragon agreed that he was not as brave as cat, mouse and dog. Belinda still lived in her little white house with her little black kitten and her little grey mouse and her little yellow dog, and with her little red wagon and her really truly late pet dragon. Belinda is as brave as a barrel full of bear, and Ink and Blink chase lion down the stair, but Custard keeps crying for a nice safe cage. In this way, you might have come to know who is brave and who is coward. What we see is generally never right, and what we do not see is generally right. Now let us go towards another lesson, that is a sermon at Banaras, that is prose. And boy, I have decided this to take one because it is just a story, like this story. There is story in the poem in the form of ballad, so it is easy to understand. And now sermon at Banaras, Pravachan at Banaras. It's a very interesting and full of philosophy about life and death. Death is compulsory. death is compulsory. When we born, it means that we are going to pass away, we are going to die. The time is not known to us, but man is bound to die. This is, and on the death, over the death, one should not lament, because it is a natural process. You cannot avoid it. If you cannot avoid death, no, there is no use on lamenting any sort of death. Before you read activity, use dictionary or ask your teacher's help as you discuss the following question in group. What is sermon? A religious advising, that is called pravachan in Marathi. It is different from lecturer or talk. Can this word also be used in negative way as a joke, as in my mother's sermon about getting my work done on me? This sermon about mother is different one. That is in Marathi we call kat. But here sermon is advice, that is religious advice given to the human being for their better life. Find out the meaning of the word that phrase is given in. Afflicted with means to become sad because of, to composed, to be peaceful, dislociation, aloneness, solitary, lamentation, grief, weeping, procure, to have, to receive, subject to, the matter is subject to, because of, reason to. And now let me read this passage to you. It's just an episode, it is just a story about Lord Gautam Buddha. Lord Gautam Buddha in bracket 563 BC dash 8483 BC bracket complete. Again, Gautam Buddha in bracket 563 BC dash 483 BC began life as a prince named Siddhartha Gautam in northern India. At 12, he was sent away for schooling in Hindu sacred scripture, and 4 years later he returned home to marry a princess. Then they had a son. And lived for 10 years as a befitted royalty. At about the age of 25, the prince heretofore sealed from the suffering of the world, while out hunting chanced upon a sick man, then an aged man, then a funeral process, and finally a monk begging for. These are the incidents he had seen in his life for the first time, and so he came to know the real side of life. Before that, he did not know any sort of sorrow, suffering, fear, and pride. But when he saw a sick person, when he saw aged man, when he saw the process of funeral, when he saw a monk, a good man was begging, he was shocked. This sight moved him that he at once went out into the world to seek enlightenment concerning the sorrow he had seen, he had witnessed. He wandered for 7 years and finally sat down under a peepal tree where he hoped to stay until enlightenment came. Enlightened after 7 days, he renamed the tree the Bodhi tree, means he renamed the tree the Bodhi tree of wisdom, and began to teach and to share his new understanding with people. At that point, he became known as Buddha, the awakened or enlightened. The Buddha preached his first sermon at the city of Banaras, most holy of dipping place on the river Ganges. That sermon had been preserved and is given here. It reflects Buddha's wisdom, Buddha's thought about one inscrutable meaning is given, kind of suffering. Now this is the incident that had taken place in the life of Siddhartha. I will just read to you, you will understand, I hope. Kisa Gautami had an only son. A woman had only son. He died. In her grief, she cried the dead child to all the neighbors, asking them for medicine. And the people said, she has lost her senses, she has gone mad, the boy is dead. At length, Kisa Gautami met a man who replied to her request, Didi, sister, I cannot give thee medicine for thy child, but I know a physician who can. And the girl said, pray tell me, sir, who is it? And the man replied, go to Shakyamuni, the Siddhartha. He could do anything Sakya, and so his name was Sakyamuni. Kisa Gautami repaired to the Buddha and cried. Means he went to Buddha and cried, Lord, my master, give me the medicine that will cure my boy. The Buddha answered, I want a handful of mustard seed. The Buddha answered, I want a handful of mustard seed. And when the girl in her joy promised to procure it, the Buddha added, the mustard seed must be taken from a house where no one has lost a child, husband, parent or friend. Poor Kisa Gautami now went from house to house, and the people pitied her and said, there is a mustard seed, take it. But when she asked, did a son or daughter or father or mother die in your family? They answered her, alas, the living are few, but the dead are many. Don't remind us of our deepest grief. And there was no house, but some beloved one had died in it. Kisa Gautami became very and hopeless, and sat down at wayside watching the light of the city. As they flickered up and were extinguished again, at last the darkness of light reached everywhere, and she considered the fate of man, and their lives flicker up and are extinguished again. And she thought to herself, how selfish am I in my grief. Death is common to all. Yet in this valley of desolation, there is a path that leads him to immortality, who has surrendered all selfishness. Said Buddha said, the life of mortal in this world is troubled and brief and combined with pain. For there is not any means by which those that have been born can avoid dying. After reaching old age, there is a death. After reaching old age, there is death. Of such a nature are living beings. As ripe fruits are early in danger of falling, so mortals when born are always in danger of death. As all earthen vessels made by the potter end in being broken, so is the life of mortal human being, both young and adult, both those who are full and those who are wise. All fall into the power of death. All are subject to death. Of course, who overcome by death depart from life. A father cannot save his son, or kinsmen's their relations mark, while relatives are looking on and lamenting deeply. One by one mortals are carried off like an ox that is led to the slaughter. So the world is afflicted with death and decay. Therefore, the wise do not grieve, do not lament, knowing the terms of the world. Not from weeping, nor from grieving will anyone obtain peace of mind. If you go on lamenting, you may not have peace. You can't have peace of mind. On the contrary, his pain will be greater and his body will suffer. He will make himself sick and pale, yet the dead are not saved by his lamentation. He who seeks peace should draw out the arrow. Let me repeat it. He who seeks peace should draw out the arrow of lamentation and complaint and grief. He who has drawn out the arrow and has become composed, silent, peaceful will obtain peace of mind. He who has overcome all sorrow will become free from sorrow and be blessed. This is the sermon given by Gautam Buddha at Banaras. I hope you might have understood it. Thank you.